question I've got for you today, Brian, is why should the focus be on quality of life when we think about supporting people with behaviours of concern, rather than looking at the individual behaviours?
Great question. And I want to think about this in the context that we have to do both. We should keep quality of life as our ultimate goal. The reason we're working with this individual, whether it's a family member, whether it's a person we work with in a residential facility or in a school, is we want to make that person's life better, right? So quality of life, and by their standard, not by ours. I like to drive and I like to ride bikes. It doesn't mean that that's going to make everybody else's life better to teach them how to ride a bike. But if they're having a challenging behavior that doesn't allow them to access the community. So as an example, if an individual engages in a lot of tantrum behavior, and now their family's scared to take them into the community because they can't manage that behavior in the mall or at the grocery store, focusing on that behavior, teaching a new skill, allowing that child to communicate, will give that person more access to things in the environment. Then they can learn, new skills. They can learn how to interact with different members of society. They can learn things that they enjoy, right? So maybe they will enjoy riding bikes, but if they're not able to get into the community, they won't be able to figure out if that's something they enjoy. So quality of life should be our terminal goal. We should make sure that what we're doing increases the quality of life for that individual, for their family, for the people they come in contact with. But to do so, sometimes we have to look at these individual behaviors. And I think my last point on this is kind of reflective of the question. We don't want to focus on the individual and their behaviors as one, right? The behavior is not the person. The behavior is the way that that person is interacting with the environment. So a tantrum doesn't mean that the person is bad, doesn't mean that they're not controllable. It just means that tantrum's worked in the past and they don't have another way to manage this. So my son has tantrums. He was kicked out of his preschool 2 weeks ago. He's in a new program that's working on coping mechanisms and teaching them these skills. And he's a really good kid. He's a very smart kid, but he has some challenging behaviors. And we separate those. We look to work on those challenges, build some new skills, teach some new skills, and ultimately increase his quality of life by allowing him to go to a preschool, have more positive social interactions with peers, increases communication and things like that. So quality of life is our goal. Behaviors of concern, we look to provide support and teach new skills around.
That's brilliant, Brian. Thank you. And something I thought that was really interesting is throughout these videos, you've mentioned a few times an example of a child on the checkout aisle, and you're absolutely right. These checkout, these supermarkets are the smart people, right? They put all the toys and all the sweets right by the aisle because they know the kid's going to want them. And I think every person that has ever had a child has probably been in that scenario where the kid wants a Kinder Egg, or I don't know if you've got Kinder Eggs in the States, but
delicious.
Yeah, they want a Kinder Egg, or they want a sweet or whatever it might be, and you invariably have that kind of outburst or whatever. Mm-hmm. And because we're human beings, we don't want to seem, we go, yeah, have the blooming Kinder Egg, Mm-hmm. And then what we're doing is reinforcing the behaviour, right? So by giving into that demand, they want something tangible. Have the Kinder Egg. It's only 80 pence, and I'd rather spend 80 pence than have a meltdown in the supermarket. But we're reinforcing that behaviour, so of course they're going to do it again. They know it gets them what they want. But I guess my question would be, or point would be, and just getting your reflection on it. It wouldn't be as simple as we teach this new skill of being able to ask for a Kinder Egg rather than banging the supermarket checkout or going, rolling around on the floor. It's not like it will work the first time. This might take some time to embed the new behaviour because we've reinforced that old way of getting it.
Yes, that's an excellent point. There's a few concepts that we probably don't have enough time to go into, but things like extinction, where if we no longer reinforce a behavior, that we might see a thing called an extinction burst. We might have a bigger tantrum, a more tantrum. And that could be a problem, because now the parent's going to say, you told me things were going to get better. Now they got worse. But these things might not work right away. And it has to do with history too, right? The child is going to try these things because they worked in the past. So as we teach these new skills, we shouldn't expect they work right away, but we can use a variety of things. Prompting, we can use some priming. So before we go to the store, we practice the scenario. When we get there, we have the Kinder Egg ready, and we say to the child, I want the Kinder Egg, and then they can repeat that, and then we give it to them right away. So with some additional strategies like priming, like prompting, like being aware of the environment, practice, we can make these skills more effective. So you make a great point. We don't want to think that these skills are research based. They have decades of research behind them. We know they work, and this is when researchers are putting them in place, right? It's when a lonely parent goes in there and they've had a tough day, it's really tough to keep those things consistent. So, looking to see what supports are in the community, making sure that in school that they're practicing these skills as well, that we can teach a new skill over time. It's not going to happen in one day. It's not going to happen in 1 hour. But the goal is to work on it and be consistent, so that in a few times this gets better, and we can kind of grow on that skill. But excellent point. We don't want to think we're going to have change right away, because it took a while for that old behavior to kind of become the norm. We have to teach a new norm.
That's brilliant, Brian. Thank you so much. And also, could I just say thank you for taking part in these videos, because you've been so good, so kind in giving your time. And I know obviously we hope these videos are going to help a lot of parents, a lot of people that might support loved ones, their children, whoever that might have these challenges and might not necessarily know a lot of this stuff, which is the reason why we're doing the videos. But just want to say thank you for your participation in these, because that's fantastic.
And thank you for putting them together. I think this is a great opportunity for families to get some access to this content, and then just see what else is available in their community, in their schools, through their primary cares, and you don't have to go through this alone. This is tough stuff. I have a child who could be challenging. Again, great kid, but we need additional supports too. So it's not something to try to go in alone, but this is a starting point, and getting access to some of this information and building on it is a way to go. So I appreciate you putting these together, and I'm always happy to help. This is a great thing to be a part of.
Thank you, Brian.